Hey guys, today I have yet another new guitar to show you guys. This is the Squier Telecaster Deluxe. So yes, this is a Squier, which means it's the lower cost, more affordable range of Fender guitars. So this looks like a Fender Telecaster because, well, the parent company is Fender, except this is the lower cost, more affordable version, and Fender markets these model guitars as Squier guitars. And the reason why they're cheaper is because the materials are generally lower quality compared to Fenders, and they're made in Asia. So this one is crafted in China, as you can see. So yeah, it's made in China. I used to have Squiers that are made in Indonesia before. I think this is actually my second Squier. My first Squier I bought way back in high school when I was starting out, because Squiers are marketed towards beginner guitarists usually, and they're lower cost and affordable. So I picked up a standard Squier Stratocaster, I think. And yeah, that one was made in Indonesia at the time. This one's made in China. Not sure how the quality compares. Maybe it's even better. But yeah, usually Squiers are cheaper because they're made of lower quality components. They're made in Asia, marketed towards beginners. But I think some of them can actually be pretty good values. So they usually have three lines, three ranges, even within Squier. So their lowest cost range is called the bullet line. And those ones are generally crap, so I never go for those. This one is the Affinity model, so the Squier Affinity Telecaster Deluxe. The Affinity model usually around $300. So this is I got this for $300 US, so it's not too bad. Usually Affinity guitars around this lineup are around that price, and for that price, it's all right. It's not the best, obviously, but I think for that price, it's all right. And then their highest end line, which is the standard line, the classic vibe line, those are around $500, $600. And I think for around $500, $600, around that price, the Squier Classic Vibe guitars are actually a pretty good deal, because those are actually kind of competing with Fender Mexican models, and I think the quality is actually as good as the Fender Mexican models, maybe even better actually. So yeah, and the Fender Mexican models can be a little bit more expensive still, but I think, in my opinion, if you're looking for a good value guitar, some of the higher end Squiers, like the Classic Vibe and the Standards, are actually pretty good, especially for that price. So that's the background behind the Squiers. Now, why did I go for the Telecaster Deluxe? Reasons mainly because of the humbuckers. I really want to change out these pickups. If I have 3 single coil pickups, I mean, there's a lot of good options for single coil pickups, but there's even better options for humbuckers. Humbuckers, you can change them out for pretty much anything. You can change them out for P90s, you can change them out for gold foils, you can change them out for Dynasonics, for Filtertrons, wide range. Like, there's so many different options for humbuckers. That's why I went for a humbucker guitar. Gives me way more options. For 3 single coil pickups, you only have 3 single coils as an option to change out to, right? Humbuckers, you can even change out to single coils, because they actually make a lot of different pickup makers make a whole variety of humbuckers, even ones that sound like single coils. So yeah, humbuckers are just very versatile. You can change them out for pretty much any pickup, any style or sound you like, from single coil sounding sound to PAF sounding style to heavy metal sounding style, like stacked buckers. If you want, like, you can change out for pretty much anything. So that's the reason I wanted to get a humbucker equipped model, because I've worked with humbuckers. I've wired humbuckers before in the past. I've experience with them, so I'll pick these up. And yeah, I chose the Telecaster body shape because, well, I've worked with Telecasters a lot before. If you guys look at my previous videos in my history, there was a time where I actually made my own guitar. I actually put together my own custom guitar, pretty much almost. I just got all the parts from Warmoth and I put it together, and that was a Telecaster Thin Line Deluxe. So yeah, I worked with that, and I'm pretty familiar with the Telecaster Deluxe body shape. So yeah, this is kind of similar to actually my Telecaster Thin Line Deluxe I worked with, except there's no F-hole obviously, but aside from that, it's a pretty similar shape. So I worked with that model before with that body shape, so I'm pretty used to it. And its neck's pretty good. It's a 21 fret neck. It's not a 22, but nice rosewood fingerboard here. I always like rosewood. So yeah, that's why I chose this model. $300, again, pretty nice price. And no tremolo because it's a Telecaster, so it's a hardtail bridge. So yeah, you'll see no tremolo here. Something I kind of wish some Telecasters had, because having tremolo is always nice. It's another option, another modification you can do. Like in my previous video, I did basically a demonstration changing out my Stratocaster bridge and swapping out the tremolo and tremolo block and the springs and the tremolo claw and everything. Those things you can't do with the Telecaster because of the hardtail bridge. But anyways, we can still upgrade this guitar a lot. So we have a few options. These are the upgrades I'm going to make for this guitar. Of course, a Squier, if you buy it stock, is like it's fine, but in order to really get your money's worth out of a Squier, we can upgrade it. So that's what I want to do in this video. So yeah, I want to upgrade a few components on the Squier and just make it a much better sounding guitar. So first upgrade, I'm going to change out the nut. This is probably a synthetic bone nut, I'm guessing. I'm going to change out to a Graphtec Tuss nut. This is the same upgrade I made on all my guitars. On my Gresh Parlor guitar, I made this upgrade. On my Fender Strat, I made this upgrade. Even on my old parts caster, I made this upgrade. So generally, I want to change out my nuts to a Graphtec Tuss nut, which adds, as it says, increases harmonic content, richness, increases sustain. So yeah, Tuss nuts generally pretty good. Not a hard upgrade either. And then the easiest upgrade actually is to change out the strings. So these come with whatever stock strings they put on it, but I don't trust them. Instead, I'm going to put on these DR strings right here. And actually, I haven't really tried too much of these. These DR tight fit round core strings. Interesting. I haven't tried too much round core strings, but yeah, I got DR tight fit handmade guitar strings. So I'm going to use these strings. I usually use Elixirs, but these ones are a little bit cheaper than Elixirs. So. And then we're going to change out the saddles. These saddles are going to be swapped out for string savers. So Graphtec string saver saddles are pretty much tried and true. I swapped these out on my parts caster before as well. I also upgraded the saddles on my Fender Strat from the standard ones, steel ones, to titanium KTS saddles. So yeah, I'll be upgrading these saddles, which are probably just standard steel saddles, to these Graphtec string savers, which are tried and true saddles because a lot of players use them. And as the name says, string savers, because it helps your tuning and prevents your string from breakage. So then I'm going to change out for locking tuners. This is another upgrade I usually try to make on all my guitars. I've done it on my Stratocaster and parts caster before. I usually change out, this is a standard upgrade for me. I change out the regular tuners for locking tuners because locking tuners are just so much easier to work with. Easier to tune, easier to get stability, just a lot easier to work with. I think everything, I mean, I know it's not vintage, right, to have locking tuners, but it's just, to me, to make any guitar really modern, I mean, locking tuners is just the way to go. And I believe these are Schallers because usually Schaller makes them for Fender. And that's it. Like I said, it's a hardtail bridge, so there's not much to change out here besides the saddles. I can't change any tremolo blocks, springs, whatever. That's only on Strats, basically. Okay, and of course, the final upgrade is going to be on the humbuckers. I'm going to change out these humbuckers. What pickups did I get? I got the Guitar Fetish gold foil pickups, which are interesting. I haven't tried these before, or metal foil humbuckers. That's what they say. So yeah, these use metal foils. They also have an Alnico version, but you know, I'm pretty familiar with Alnico, and I kind of wanted to check out different type of sound. Usually all my pickups are Alnico, so I'm gonna go with this metal foil version and see how they sound. And yeah, it's Guitar Fetish because they're generally pretty cheap. I got these pickups together for like less than $100. So yeah, if I go for a boutique hand-wound pickup maker like Jason Lawler or Lindy Frelin, even Seymour Duncan's, those are going to cost me a lot more, right? I think I've only tried out, from the boutique pickup makers, I've tried the Lindy Frelin Twangbuckers, which are interesting, but I don't think they had the sound that I liked. The Lawler Lawlertrons are pretty interesting. I've tried those out on my parts caster before. I really like that sound, but I eventually sold them for like a cheaper pair of Tone Rider pickups after that, because I wanted to sell the guitar. So yeah, Lawler Lawlertrons are pretty good, and then the Lawler Gold Foil pickups are also pretty nice as well. And I sold those just because, again, it was on a guitar I wanted to sell. So in general, like my experience with the Lawler pickups are actually been pretty good. The Lindy Frelins have been a little bit underwhelming though. This time, yeah, I went with the Guitar Fetish, which I've never tried before, but they're cheap. So, and yeah, why not? I mean, even if they're cheap, it's still a nice upgrade on this pickup. Whatever this stock pickup is, it's probably they use probably the cheapest quality pickup on a Squier. So yeah, unless it's like one of those classic vibe ones where they put a Duncan design pickup, like Squiers generally come with really crap pickups usually. So yeah, we would change out these crap pickups for GFS, which should be a nice upgrade. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. First step first is we're gonna remove the strings from here. Yep. And we're gonna change out the tuners on here, because who wants to use regular tuners? So now it's time to change out the tuners on the neck, and the weird thing about Squier tuners is that they're a little bit different than the Fender tuners are. So I actually had to get a different set of tuners. These are the hip shot guitar tuners, and yeah, it's weird. I don't know why Fender made the tuners a little bit different than Squier, but you can't just use regular Fender tuners on them, because there's going to be holes in the tuners after you disassemble these, and the holes do not line up with the Fender tuners. So I have to get these different tuners, the hip shot tuners. These are the only ones that I have read about online that should work. It's weird. I don't know why Fender, like, why would you bother to make it different for the Squiers? I don't know. Why not just make them the same as the Fender? I have no idea. But anyways, yeah, let's get down to I'm gonna disassemble these. Actually, so yeah, these are locking tuners, and I think these are the only locking tuners that I know of that work with the Squier. Yeah, because you can't just use regular Fender tuner replacements, because it doesn't fit on a Squier. I don't know why. Why did Fender do it that way? No idea. But you can't just use regular locking tuner replacements. So yeah, I think these ones should work. So. Okay, so yeah, these are the holes in the back that regular Fender tuners or regular Fender locking tuners would not fit into, or any replacement Fender tuners would not fit into too. So I have to use the hip shot ones, which is weird. So there it is, locking tuners installed on the Squier, and these are hip shot tuners, the only third-party tuners I could find that will actually work with these Squiers. But yeah, anyways, I installed the locking tuners on them, so there you go. Alright, so that's the neck done, the nut and the tuners. Alright, so next up we're going to install these Graphtec string saver saddles onto the bridge here. So we're going to change out the saddles here. The saddles here I'm sure are just regular steel saddles. So we're going to use string savers. String savers they're going to reduce string friction at the saddle point, and it's going to reduce string breakage. That's why it's called string savers. I've used them before on my previous parts caster. Pretty good. Not that expensive. A lot of other players actually use them. So yeah, I think these should be good. Alright, so now I got the string saver saddles onto the bridge here. So yeah, I think these will work pretty well. I have the Allen key. I just gotta adjust the action a little bit on these. Alright, so now I'm going to do the pickups next. So next step, I'll be putting these pickups in. These are the GFS gold foil pickups. Yeah, I have never used GFS pickups before, but they're fairly inexpensive and affordable and have a lot of different styles. They have like Filtertrons, PAFs, single coils obviously, Dynasonics, yeah, or Diarmans, all sorts of pickups, yeah. And they have gold foils and P90s and staple P90s, I believe. They have all these, yeah, different sorts of pickups. Some of them are more esoteric than others. But yeah, the gold foil is probably one of the more interesting ones I found. Oh, they also have wide range as well. I think the wide range is also pretty interesting. But yeah, I went for the gold foils. I used to have the Lawler gold foil pickups, which are way more expensive. But I think these should still be pretty interesting too. So let's take a look. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. Gold foil pickup, and it has the, oh interesting, it has a quick plug system, which I've never used before. Quick plug system right here, which is like a quick solder thing. And these, I think just one wire here, 2 conductors and 1 wire. So this should be pretty interesting. So I'm gonna try to solder these in. All right. And these, I have new rosin cores. Okay, solid rosin core. Okay, that's good. All right, now let's disassemble this. This comes with, by default, I don't know what kind of humbuckers these are. I think they're just regular Alnico humbuckers. I think so. Yeah, I don't think they're ceramic. I think they're just regular Alnico humbuckers. So I'm gonna take those out. So this is the neck humbucker, which is going to be wound to about 5K, and this is the bridge humbucker, which is wound to about 6K. So I think those are the resistances. And gold foil pickups obviously are a different structure. You can't even compare the resistances to regular PAFs or humbuckers, but anyways, that's what they are. Now this seems as interesting. This mess of cables here. So this cable looks like it runs. Okay, it got soldered through here. So we just have to desolder this one. I think there's only one spot this is going to, which is this one. Okay. Okay. The neck pickup is wired only to one pot here. Looks like. No, it's wired to one pot here and also to another one here. I see. There's 2 things. So yeah. Neck pickup is wired to this pot and then to this piece right here, and then the bridge pickup is wired to this pot and this pickup. Okay, I think I got how that works. Took a while. That bridge did not want to get unsoldered. Oh man. Yeah, that is, what a pain. Okay. Alright, so that's the bridge. Unsoldered the neck and the bridge. Now we just gotta put these new gold foil pickups in. Okay, yeah, so it looks like, okay, this is still attached, okay. Yep, it looks like I managed to get the two gold foil pickups. I've now screwed them on. So now the next step is to solder them to the pots. So yeah, it looks like this is still good. So yeah, the bridge pickup will get soldered onto this pot, which is the tone control for the bridge pot, I guess. And then I guess the weird thing is I have two grounds. I have one signal, and then I have a signal ground, then I have a pickup shield ground. So I have two grounds to solder in. And then the neck one will go here and here, I think. So yeah, bridge will go here and here, and the neck pickup will go here and here. So yep, that's the neck. So yeah, that's the next step. Neck pickup to here and here, and then bridge pickup to here and here. Okay. Alright, so I think that's the neck pickup. I got both the grounds soldered and the signal soldered to here. So I think that's good. Now the bridge pickup needs this one. This is the hot. Get the hot soldered. Alright, so I got the bridge soldered, I think, with the grounds. Alright, so there's an easy way to test to see whether a pickup is working or not. All I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this guitar in, and then I'm going to run my screwdriver across these, and if it makes a noise, then I'll know whether or not it's actually soldered correctly and connected. So that's what I'm going to do. So, connect it. Okay. Alright. Now if I turn the volume up. So yeah, right now the pickup selector is in both positions, so both pickups will make a noise. Right. Now neck only. Neck pickup makes a noise. Bridge pickup does not make a noise because only the neck pickup's on. And then bridge pickup only. Bridge pickup will make a noise. Neck pickup will not make any noise because only the bridge pickup is active. Okay, so now I know I wired it up correctly. If I tone down the volume controls on this, should not hear anything. Okay, turn down the volume controls here, don't hear anything. Turn it back on, now I hear something. Okay, tone controls, I'll still hear something, just a little bit different. Yeah, okay, so these are tone controls. So yeah, I think it's working. If I turn down the volume, right, nothing. Turn up the volume, now there's something. Okay, so that's working as expected. So yeah, I have them both. I think I have everything grounded correctly. All right, so I think that's a success. We I managed to wire up both of these gold foil pickups to the correct pots, and the input selector and everything is correctly hooked up, so I think we got this wired up correctly. Cool. So yeah, that was my way of quickly testing it. Just using a screwdriver. Alright, and just to test these pickups again, after I screwed everything on, made sure that all the connections and wires are still good. I'm going to power up my amp again, and we're just going to test it again. So yeah, should be sound. Both pickups are selected, volume full, sound on both. And now turn down the volume, nothing. Yep, turn back up the volume. Tone controls, turn down tone controls, different sound, right? Without the highs, I would say. Then neck pickup only, sound, no sound. Bridge pickup only, no sound, sound. Okay, it's working as expected. Cool. All right, so yeah, that is installing the pickups. So we did that. I think the hard part was really just removing the connections from the previous pickups. So I removed the connections from the previous humbuckers. That actually took a little bit longer than expected, but then soldering in the new pickups wasn't as difficult as I expected, actually. I'm just gonna adjust the height a little bit actually now. Okay, I think that's good. Cool. Okay, so now we're gonna install the neck. Cool. So now that we got the neck back on, now we're gonna do the strings. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna be using DR strings tight fit. This is the first time I've used tight fit strings, so first time I used DR strings actually, so we'll see how good these strings are. The weird thing is that DR strings seem to be coming 2 per pack, which is weird because usually it's like one string per pack, 2 strings per pack, so it's kind of interesting. Alright, so with our string saver saddles, should be good here. Alright, so now we got locking tuners on our headstock, and we got a GrafTech nut now. So it should be easier to put these strings back on. So that's it. We upgraded a lot of things on this guitar. The strings have been restrung with DR tight fit strings. The tuners have been upgraded with hip shot tuners, as you can see. They're locking tuners, and they work pretty well actually. I've never really heard a hip shot before, but I found them out because they're the only ones that actually fit locking tuners on the Squier, and they work pretty well. I think when I was restringing the guitar, I found it pretty easy to lock these strings in, and they hold their they keep in tune pretty well, it looks like. So I was able to restring them pretty easily. Yeah, it's pretty easy to restring it and keep the guitar in tune and everything. So these locking tuners are definitely better than I expected. So yeah, these are hip shot tuners. The GrafTech nut, we changed out the standard synthetic bone nut, which I'm guessing is that's what they put in here, and we changed it out for a GrafTech tusk nut. So that's been changed out. And then the saddles, the bridge saddles, have been changed out from the standard steel saddles into the GrafTech string saver saddles. which I think worked pretty well as well, because when I was tuning it, you can tell that as I was tuning, it was really not slipping very much. So when I was usually like, when I tune all my other guitars, like the standard guitars, like it takes a few tries, because every time you tune the strings, it'll go down in tune, it'll go down in pitch, you have to like retune it and everything. This one didn't take very long to tune. They actually held in tune pretty well. Maybe it's because of the locking tuners as well. It's the combination of the locking tuners and also the string saver saddles, which prevent the strings from breaking. So as I was tuning higher and higher, especially on the high E string here, usually there's there's an increased chance to break as you tune higher and higher. No issue here. I didn't feel like the string was it wasn't close to breaking at all. So I think the GrafTech string saver saddles definitely played a part in that. Of course, they're called string savers, right? So they're supposed to prevent your strings from breaking. So I think you can tune your strings pretty high and be relatively safe with that. And then of course we changed out the pickups from the standard humbuckers, which I'm guessing are Alnico humbuckers, into the GFS gold foil humbuckers, which I have not really tried yet. So I'm actually gonna do right now. I've actually not tried these humbuckers before, but we're gonna plug it in. We wired these up, we tested them, make sure that they were working, and yeah, let's see how the sound of this is like. Okay, everything is on, volume is on 100%, so this is both pickups on. Very interesting sound. These are not Alnico humbuckers, these are metal foil humbuckers, which are very interesting. Interesting sound. So yeah, that's a very interesting sound. If I turn down the tone control, what happens? Okay, turn on this control. If I try neck pickup only. Bridge pickup only. Okay, interesting. They have a very interesting 3D type of sound to it. Interesting. This is a pretty nice sounding guitar now. Sounds pretty good, actually. I guess I didn't I didn't really know what these gold foil pickups are going to sound like. I guess I thought they were going to sound maybe, I mean, not as good as the Lawler gold foils I had before, because I mean those are way more expensive. I mean, those Lawler gold foils, I think I paid like 400 bucks for them. Those are on my Bohemian TNTs before, which I already did a video on. But yeah, these ones were only like 100 bucks total. So they're like a quarter of the price of the Lawlertrons. So I guess I didn't expect them to sound as good as the Lawlertron. And they don't. I mean, I think the Lawlertrons still sound better, but But these are definitely pretty good for the price. I mean, for $100, these gold foil pickups, wow, it's nice, like 3D type of soundstage. Very spacious. You can also have an option for the Alnico type gold foil pickups, but I went with the metal coil or the metal slug gold foil pickups or whatever. So that's interesting. It's a very different sound than what I'm used to. I mean, I guess I'm used to Alnico pickups, but very interesting sound. So. Yeah, very interesting sound. Yeah, I like these pickups. Metal foil, gold foil pickups. Okay, interesting. Yeah, we're metal foil, and I think they call them the metal coil pickups or something like that. Anyways, these are very, very interesting pickups. Yeah, definitely very different sound than Alnico. I think it's interesting. I think they remind me more of my old Gretsch Dynasonic pickups that was on my White Penguin. So, which are Dearman type pickups. But those were Alnico as well, I think. But those were like bigger coil Alnico. They sounded kind of like not as mid-rangey as a P90. So it's definitely not as high output or mid-rangey as a P90, but they're still kind of unique sounding. So those are, I guess it kind of reminds me a little bit of my Dynasonic pickups, which is very interesting. It's not, but it's not Alnico though. So that's, yeah, I guess. Out of all my guitars, do I have any guitars that are not even Alnico? I don't. Maybe my Duesenberg actually is not. Maybe some of the pickups are not Alnico, but most of my guitars have Alnico pickups. So, yeah, very interesting. Kind of metal foil pickups. Very interesting sound. A lot of compression though I can feel on these pickups. So, definitely pretty cool. So yeah, they're not super high output, they're not super low output either. They're just, yeah, if anything, kind of reminds me of the Dynasonic or Dearman type pickups. So kind of in between a single coil and a P90, I'd say, in terms of output, but just very unique sound. Very like 3D is the term I would say. Snappy. A little bit dark sounding actually. I mean, they definitely have highs, but it's not the bell highs you would hear from a Stratocaster pickup, so, or a single coil pickup. So, yeah, very, very interesting pickups. Okay, cool. Anyways, guys, that is the Squier Telecaster Deluxe, which I basically got it and I modified it. I bought this guitar and then I wanted to make some modifications for it that were kind of cheap. I didn't want to spend too much money, but I just wanted to upgrade this guitar, and I think it's a good upgrade now. So we got string saver saddles, metal foil or gold foil pickups here from GFS, which is honestly much better than I expected. And then the GrafTech nut here, and these locking tuners from Hipshot, and then we got the strings from DR, which are handmade round core strings, which are, yeah, honestly, first time I used round core strings too. Yeah, very interesting. So, yeah, very beautiful sound actually. It's a very nice guitar now. Yeah, sounds probably better than, better than any Squier you would normally pick up stock. So, and I didn't even have to spend a lot of money on this. I spent less than maybe 500 bucks on this. And now it sounds much better than a Squier you would pick up, like a standard or classic vibe Squier you would pick up for like 600 bucks, right? You can pick up a classic vibe Squier for over 600 bucks and it won't sound as good as this one. So, yeah, I just took an Affinity Squier and I modified it basically. So that's, I think that's the way to go. So yeah, I basically bought an Affinity Squier for about less than 300 bucks, and then I added some modifications to it, and it still came out to less than 500 bucks, and now I think it sounds as good as a Fender, probably double the price. So yeah, I think it's a worthy modification. Takes like maybe one night, I would say. So about 4 hours of your time, you can probably do all this. So just take a night to do all this, and then you'll have a pretty good value, I think, parts caster. So that's it, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments about the modifications, or if you want to do your own modifications on your Fender or Squier. But I think it's worth it. Just take one night to do all this modifications, total cost of less than 500 bucks, and then you have something as great sounding as an $800 Fender. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.